So I'm just getting on here real quick to add some moderators to my channel. A lot of people have been asking me. Okay, there you go, Toy. Let me see. Can I do it from this? How are y'all tonight? I'm gonna play this. Hold on 1 second. All right, so I'm just doing this little quick chat to add some moderators so that when I come back live tomorrow, it'll be a lot easier for me to focus on my content without getting distracted by a lot of the trolls that like to swoop in. So I'm just doing this little quick chat. Got an echo, my bad. I got you, Toy. Casey, I'm going to add you as a moderator. I already got Shay. Let's see. Good morning, Nene and Truth. I'm going to add you too. I see you a lot. Casey. All right, let's see. How's everybody doing so far? Did anybody see the press conference today? What do y'all think about it? Let's see. Anybody else in the chat want to be a moderator? Hey Joe, how you doing? Harlem, NY. What'd you think about the press conference, Nene and Truth? That's funny. That's my nickname for my family. Christina, what'd you think about it? Okay. Amani. I don't think I added you. No. I think it's posted. It was supposed to be on the news. I didn't catch it on the actual news. But I'll see about putting some of that out. I don't know. I'll put it on my backup channel. Make sure y'all go subscribe to that one, Prima Donna News Backup. I'll put it on that channel instead of this one. To me, it just seemed a little funny. And it's funny that after it, and after I was having a conversation with somebody about it, they was telling me they felt the same way I did. And then they ended up pulling up an old conversation from this alleged baby mama that just popped up out the woodworks. And she had a completely different story than what she said. So to me, all that just stands out. Some don't sit right. Exactly. Christina Smith says she could have kept that until the end. Exactly. I think it was on two other bloggers' channels. But the main message that they were putting out was the fact that they were targeting the Me Too agenda and all that. So let me just, I think I'm done giving out moderators. Does anybody else want to be a moderator before I leave this screen and just go into an old video that I did speaking on the topic? Because like I was saying last year, a lot of people should have been focusing on these terroristic groups, Me Too and Time's Up, and boycotting Lifetime and doing all that. But somewhere along the line, we just got so distracted. It just seemed like so many people were more focused on the people blogging about R. Kelly and not being proactive. And then if you look at the people that we consider our opposers, it's like they just took a back seat because it's like they didn't need to do nothing else. Really. Like, if you think about it, the biggest issue that I had with Team Truth, if you recall, is when I felt like my pictures were being leaked over the internet. And to be honest, the way some of these so-called supporters act now, I wouldn't be surprised if some of them was doing that shit. But anyways, at that time, somebody ended up sending me the leader of Team Truth's picture and also emailing me his information. Now, of course, I only put certain parts out because I wasn't trying to get into it. I'm just, from my position, trying to say, hey, leave me the fuck alone. Me and you have nothing in common to talk about. And from their point of view, they're saying they just want to, this is what they're saying now. They just want to understand why we feel the way we feel. And if you recall the things that I was saying back then, there's no need for you to understand because I'm specifically telling you I feel the way I feel because I feel R. Kelly is not guilty. With that being said, when I see all these people sitting around here being, I don't know, it's just a lot of suspicious things going on and people are insinuating this man is guilty and or they have all this animosity for people blogging about R. Kelly, but then you'll be right there next to a person who say some slick stuff about the person you claim to support, but you don't say not one word. And then the next thing you want to do, if somebody gives their feedback on what they saw happen, you'll go on the attack with people online, and that makes absolutely no sense. Do we not see this pattern of behavior? So when I look at this woman just taking this opportunity to switch up the story that she's already told last year, it was just a little ironic to me. Especially when people want to sit here and put out fake narratives and even go to the extremes to try to put me in some bullshit yet again. It's funny how people will sit here and be like, oh, I'm only coming at her because she keeps talking about me. But it's fun tea that, again, they always find things to try to get a response out of me. But like I said, I'm not finna keep doing it. It makes no sense. I see it. By now, y'all should see it. And sitting around waiting on me to call out other bloggers because you personally got attached to them is not what I come on YouTube to do. I came on YouTube to push the right message. And at the beginning, like I've said many times, I was so enraged, I might have said a few things that were offensive to people. When Team Truth would come on, I blocked their ass off top because I just couldn't take it. So when subs come to me and they say, well, how can this person be conversating with this person? Like, we are two different people. I've already told you my position and why I don't talk to those people over there. But at the end of the day, if other people want to do it, who am I to just sit here and keep trying to make content based on that? That makes absolutely no sense. Meanwhile, the person that I claim to support is sitting behind bars. His defense is being completely destroyed. And let's just take a walk down memory lane. Because truth be told, I don't feel like a lot of things that went down on YouTube, that brought the feds in a little bit closer. Because truth be told, I don't feel like, for example, a couple people that were on specific platforms, I don't feel like they would have been questioned by the FBI had they not come on these platforms. And yet we continue to see this same cycle of people that knew R. Kelly and was around during these times come out and make their voices heard on YouTube, and then turn around, people will twist the narrative as to why they ended up being called in by the FBI. Some people were saying certain individuals were informants when they went to do their interviews. Meanwhile, other people did the same type of interviews and they were being embraced. So that just confused me. So as far as the people that come in, who just said mod? D Slade. As far as the people wanting me to talk about these bloggers and link up with them, it just made no sense to me because truth be told, if we're seeing all this go down on YouTube, what do y'all think was going on behind the closed doors with R. Kelly? Like, this man had all this money, all these people trying to get their little selves in, and we don't think that the same things we're seeing repetitively was going on with R. Kelly. Like for example, did y'all know that in 2002, when this man was being hit with this sex tape allegation, did y'all know his music was being leaked? What was the name? Loveland. Y'all remember that album? Well, that was also being leaked at the same time he was going through this trial. And like I've been presenting to you all, it's always something surrounding his music or some money in which all these freaking people just come out the woodworks. So when I'm looking at other people feeding off my information, I'm glad. Like, I just saw a video a few minutes ago and it put into perspective something that I was a little lost on, because as we see with YouTube, it's a lot of people that want to associate themselves with R. Kelly. And obviously that was the same thing with these people that were around him. So let's take Cheryl Mack, for example. She was an assistant one minute and a manager the next. She was the one who saw Joycelyn and decided, hey, let's bring her to R. Kelly. So this is the first problem I had in knowing this fact. How do all these people, it went from Cheryl Mack to this Kevin Giles guy to all these different people, and yet the only person we're seeing charged is R. Kelly. Meanwhile, they're saying this enterprise that he's running are the ones that are booking these flights and setting up all these girls. So I'm trying to make it make sense in how you get R. Kelly, but you don't get the employees. And then as I continue to do the research and find out that some of the employees have become accusers, that's another red flag. So the video I'm going to pull up right now is a video that I did last year, and it was about Me Too. And that was the live I just jumped off of a few minutes ago. She was basically talking about that was the point of the press conference. I know that was a little bit long-winded just to get to that point, but that's what I was getting at in saying all that, to point out the fact that all these things that they did to manipulate the facts, to secure getting this man in jail, on top of all the things that have been done to secure that he doesn't get out of jail, these are the things that should be voiced. Like all these little petty arguments people have on YouTube, I'm over it. I'm really over it. If people want to sit here and run with this little fake ass article and run with these people that want to just keep chaos going, cool. But my thing is, stop trying to associate me with that, because clearly my page reflects what I'm on. And it's not going back and forth with people I don't know. It's not trying to investigate these bloggers that say they know him or none of that. Because if you recall, I was telling people from the beginning, I don't trust nobody. So if you were the person that were drawn to a blogger because they said they had this relationship, or they're related to this person, or they did this for R. Kelly, or whatever the case have been, that's cool. My thing is, at this point in the fight, please do not come to me with your feelings as to your hurts that this person isn't who you thought it was, when you got to remind yourself, I don't know these people either. Yet, I still watch everything. And the problem I have with a lot of these other bloggers is they want to try to dictate how you do your research, when all they're going to do is consume your research and reword it. It's funny, the same people that were utilizing my information now want to discredit me all the time, but that's cool too. But anyways, the major point in the press conference was to call out the appropriate people, which is the people that blocked this man's money, then turn around and expected him to keep paying all this stuff. These are the people that wreaked havoc in this man's life and violated his constitutional rights. And the reason why this is so important, because this is just on a celebrity scale. But just think about how often people in urban neighborhoods go through similar things just like this. It's people in jail right now that are not getting bonds, that are not celebrities, that are just average people awaiting a trial. Especially with everything that's going on now, like they can't even give you trial dates in some of these cases. So these people are affected just like R. Kelly. So for those people that keep turning a blind eye, these are the people we need to recognize that this is bigger than R. Kelly. It really is. And all this petty arguing ain't gonna get that point across. But anyways, here's the video that I was speaking on that I did last year about Me Too. At that point in time, I had an issue with Oprah sitting here targeting all the urban people. They wanted to bring Me Too to the hip hop community, but overlook all the other people they could have Me Too'd. Like, for example, they're sitting here wanting us to believe that R. Kelly is passing a sexually transmitted disease. Meanwhile, all these girlfriends he's had in the past are linking up with all these other celebrities. Then you got all these other celebrities who allegedly have STDs who are passing it around. The first person that comes to my mind is, you remember Derek Jeter? He's been accused of giving 6, 7 girls herpes, and yet I ain't never seen him get indicted. Like, it's a whole list. If you just go look at celebrities with STDs, you'll see a whole list of people. So I'm just trying to make it make sense as to why R. Kelly's going to be the example as to, hey, if you're accused of having a sexually transmitted disease, not you're factually proven to have it, but you're accused, and this person is presenting this type of behavior, which would make you come to the conclusion it is very well possible she could have been infected by somebody else. But either way it go, it's still an accusation. Why is it R. Kelly is the only person who has had accusations put him in a position that he's in now? We've heard accusations about Jay-Z, Diddy, Usher. The list goes on and on. We already knew about Charlie Sheen, and I wish I could play that video here, but last time I tried it, they blocked me, so I'm not going to do it again. But anyways, let's see if it's going to play. Anyways, justice system we have, and how only certain individuals are being targeted. But no, some of you have been so riled up by propaganda, you can't hear the common sense. A person that you admire, a celebrity that you have been so riled up and want to be trusted, or you say the same thing we've been saying. Why are all these that you admire? I don't know why it's echoing. Hold on just a second. I don't know why it's echoing. Hold on just a second. It's crazy.
presented during the meeting. Needless to say, this intrigued, in some cases, disturbed many of us. The agreement was only a page long, but very clear on matters and consequences, which stated that violating the terms would result in job termination. We asked us to say what this meeting was intrigued, in some cases was disturbed many of us. The agreement was only a page long, but was very clear on matters. So now, if we get to the good part of the meeting, about to start. Talk to him, G. It says, quickly after the meeting began, hold on 1 second. Get your popcorn, y'all. Popcorn, get your pistol. I was like, for real though. Quickly after this meeting began, one of the industry colleagues, who should remain nameless like everybody else, thanked us for attending. He then gave the floor to a man who only introduced himself by first name and gave no other details about his personal background. I think he was the owner of the residence, but that was never confirmed. He briefly praised all of us for the success we had achieved in our industries and congratulated us for being selected as part of this small group of decision makers. At this point, I began to feel slightly uncomfortable and the strangeness of this gathering. The subject quickly changed as the speaker went on to tell us that the respective companies we represented had invested in a very profitable industry, which could become even more rewarding with our active involvement. He explained that the companies we worked for had invested millions into the building of privately owned prisons, and that our positions of influence in the music industry would actually impact the profitability of these investments. Then he says, I remember many of us in the group immediately looking at each other in awe and confusion. At the same time, I didn't know what a private prison was, but I wasn't the only one. Sure enough, someone asked what these prisons were and what any of this had to do with music. We were told that these prisons were built by privately owned companies who received funding from the government based on the number of inmates. The more inmates, the more the government would pay these prisons. It was also made clear to us that since these prisons are privately owned, as they become publicly traded, we'd be able to buy shares. Most of us were taken back by this. Again, a couple of people asked what this had to do with us. At this point, my industry colleague who had first opened the meeting took the floor again and answered our questions. He told us that since our employees had become silent investors in this prison business, it was now in their interest to make sure that these prisons remain filled. Our job would be to help make this happen by making music which promote criminal behavior, rap being the music of choice.
So we're going to pause right there, because if you think it only pertains to rap, let me give you an insight at what I've seen in my youth till today. This over-sexualized imagery we see, this drug mentality is all over the place. It's not just with rap. It's with anything in the entertainment. So I'm going to stop it right there. I just dropped the link to that video. It's called Oprah, the Me Too Agenda. Y'all can go check that out at any time. But it was just basically to give you all a little insight at what I was talking about last year as far as this Me Too movement and how these record labels and all these media companies, they work hand in hand. So we're sitting over here beefing on the internet about stupid stuff when at the end of the day, this is a big corporation initiating this takedown. And it didn't just start with the Savages. This has been in the making since the beginning of this man's career, seems like. Now, as I said, I just wanted to jump on here real quick to get the moderator set. I think I pretty much got everybody that I needed to. If I didn't, go leave a comment on my community tab, and the next time I go live, I can remember to add you as a moderator as well. But like I said, we have bigger things to worry about. When you sit here, if you just take the time to go look at all of these songs that R. Kelly has put out, if you use certain songs, you will notice that you have copyrights from Warner, you have copyrights from Universal, and you have copyrights from Sony. All three of these companies are working hand in hand. And from what I was told, they owe this man a lot of money for his catalog. Same thing I was telling y'all last year, that if they secure this indictment, this man is going to have to forfeit his whole catalog, his assets. So that was another issue I had with Drea Kelly. You let these people use you to go against your child's father and cheat you out of the motherfucking legacy that he has worked all these years to provide. Makes absolutely no sense. It makes no sense for even these fans to be saying that this man signed away his publishing to Aaliyah's parents when they don't even have Aaliyah's estate. Like, they're not even running that. So it makes no sense to me. But think about the bigger picture. Me Too, Time's Up, Mute R. Kelly. They all need to be held accountable for the fact that they are responsible for a lot of these civil rights violations that R. Kelly has faced. Just keep that in mind when all of these people get to talking nonsense. I don't have time for it. I got bigger things on my mind. So with that being said, I'm going to get off here. The next video, as I posted in my community chat, is going to be basically talking about the defense that the attorneys used in his first trial. Because again, these people want to keep talking about what they remember, what they think they saw. Well, have y'all ever heard of things like the Mandela effect, where they're trying to describe it as you're having false memories and things like that? People can sit here and say they know for a fact this man was in this video, but from the images that I've saw online, I beg to differ. It's looked like three different people throughout this tape, and it's supposed to be shot within the same time frame. So I don't understand how a person can go from bald to a short fade to a little, dread looking thing going on. I don't even know what that was in the pink shirt. And then you got Michael Avenatti with his little short Photoshop photo, which he's trying to say is a video of Jane Doe JP, which don't even make sense, because I ain't even finna go into it. It just makes absolutely no sense. The same way she said she was in a suicide pact, when how you gonna be in a suicide pact when you met him at his first trial? That don't even make sense. But like I said, stay tuned for that next topic. It's called the Little Man Defense. Y'all can go look it up yourself so that you'll pretty much know where I'm going with this. If you haven't been paying attention, the way I put my content out, whether I read the indictments or not, my content is going to reflect my version of defending the allegations, defending the claims and the narratives that have been put out on topic. So if they're saying that this man is running this enterprise and this person is doing this and this person is doing that, well, especially when it comes to this money issue, because we all know he wasn't handling his own money, I want to poke holes in that. That's what I'm going to do. Since people have set out to ruin the defense fund and pretty much make everything so hard, we need somebody to focus on punching holes in all these narratives they have put out. And that's exactly what I intend to do. With that said, y'all have a good night. Shout out to everybody in the chat. I appreciate your time. See you tomorrow. Well, not see you, but you know what I mean.